I want you to write this down, choosing your future. It's a program that we've created that's designed to put in place for you to work on yourself. A systematic process that changes your mindset. It's possible, it's necessary, it's you, it's hard, it's worth it, it's done. It's 6 CDs. Repeat after me, please. It's possible. Yeah, see, the easiest thing that I do now is come up on stage and speak to you. That's easy. But the most difficult thing that I've ever done, and it took me years to do, was to believe that I can do it. To believe that I could stand up and not be afraid and speak from my heart and think and be able to present. To believe that that was possible for me. For 14 years, I didn't do it. Mike Williams said, Les, you can do more than what you're now doing. But I didn't believe it. I just couldn't see myself doing it. I'm saying to you, there's some things that you can accomplish that you can't see right now. My favorite book says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you when you're willing to say yes, when you're willing to move forward, when you're willing to come back again and again and again in pursuit of your dream. Life will respond to you. You'll discover some things about yourself. Mindset transformation is very important. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You don't want to think like everybody else. You want uncommon thinking. Here's the other thing. Expand your skill set. This is the age of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's. Accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. So you have to expand your skill set to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. When I was a kid, you got on an elevator, I was an elevator boy. What floor, please? We operated elevators manually. Then we're going through creative destruction. Somebody created an elevator that didn't require a person being there employed to close the door and take the people to the designated floor. When I was a kid, girls would say, what do you want to do when you become an adult? I want to be an operator, a long-distance operator. Years ago, when you made a long-distance call, you had to call a long-distance operator. Then somebody created technology that you can dial direct. Am I making this up? Anybody remember use that call a long-distance operator? It's called creative destruction. Somebody created technology that we don't have to do that anymore. So today, what multi-level marketing does allow you to secure your future, to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. You can hire a PhD or an MBA in the Philippines or India for $2.60 an hour. So what you're doing is you're staying ahead of the game because we're going through continuously creative destruction. Think about Mr. Washington. Young man, yes, sir. What do you want to do with your life? I want to buy my mother a home, sir. I want to take care of my mother. You do? Yes, sir. I want to make my mother proud. How can you say you want to make your mother proud and you were in the dean's office the other day for fighting? Sir, they call me DT, the dumb twin. So you're going to fight them? Yes, sir. Why, Brown? Why? Anger is the wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. How do I get even, sir? Tell me. They pick on me all the time because it takes me longer to learn things than others. I'm not like my sister at the University of Miami. I'm not like my brother. They always compare me to him. Mr. Brown, you want to get even? Yes, sir. He said, you have a good memory, young man. Yes, sir, I do. Yes, I do, sir. Remember these words by Frank Sinatra. The best revenge is massive success. Become massively successful. That's how you become even. Thank you, sir. Mr. Brown? Yes, sir. Why did you sign those papers? What are you talking about? You're the first student in special education that was labeled educable mental retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. You failed in the 8th grade. I fought for you. I saw something in you. You've got greatness in you. I know you're not as fast as your brother. I know you're not like Margaret and your sister. But there's a hunger in you, sir. And I fought for you to get that, and I saw your name. I couldn't believe it. Well, you signed it to somebody else. How did you do that? Several teachers met with me and said that you wouldn't be with me at Florida A&M University to help me. Mr. Washington, he said, if I didn't make the honor roll at Booker T. Washington High School, I would not make it at Florida A&M. You've been like a father to me. I never would want to bring embarrassment to your name. Mr. Brown, I know it's harder for you. But once you learn something, because of your hunger, you got it. You master it. He said, I don't care what they said. But did you believe that you could go there and graduate? To be honest with you, sir, no, sir. Not without you, sir. Mr. Brown, yes, sir. Listen to me, yes, sir. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Whoever recruited you to become involved in their organization, they saw something in you. Whoever asked you to be a part of their team, they saw greatness in you. See, you need people in your life who can see things that you can't see. You want to find whoever got you in the business and say to them, thank you. I told Robert Boyd, who recruited me for Best Line Products, thank you, Bob. I don't know what you saw, but I'm not going to disappoint you. You find whoever recruited you, because you are looking for eagles in this business. You're not looking for people who need more. You're looking for people who want more. Let us say together, it's possible. Everybody together, it's possible. I can live my dreams. I will work on myself every day. I will retrain my thinking every day. I will listen to audio programs. I would read 10 to 15 pages of something positive every day. I will turn off my television and turn on my life. Let us say together, it's necessary to detoxify your life.
When I think about the three pillars of something that would be your anchor, a foundation to drive you into the future, to live a big dream, to live a big life, a mindset, what you think about, you bring about. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said that if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And I think that in many cases, governments and religious institutions have really unwittingly crushed the dreams and aspirations and the visions that people had of themselves. Not all, but a lot of them. And I think it's incumbent upon the individual to take responsibility, to develop yourself, to expand your mind, your vision, to seek out experiences. You know, Helen Keller said life should be a daring adventure, it's boring. And start to dream. What do you want? What do you really want for your life? I remember going to Auschwitz and walking down the halls in the Nazi German concentration camps and seeing the pictures of men and women who had dreams. These people were exterminated. One of the things that I heard in my mind when I reflected in a book written by Viktor Frankl, who was there. He said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. And he talked about the people who were able to survive the inexpressible cruelties of Nazism, those who either believed in God or had someone that they loved that they were determined to see, or some cause bigger than themselves. And in my case, my goal was to buy my mother a home. That was my big dream. And that caused me to read things and to listen to things, to fuel my imagination. And then to develop my skills to becoming a voice of influence. The other thing that's important is creating a community of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. And it started with a man, Mr. Washington, who said, a high school teacher, someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. It could start with one person, and then it goes from there. I started associating with people who were doing what I wanted to do. I joined a multi-level marketing group called Best Line Products. When I heard the voice of a guy that when he spoke, it seemed like he was talking to me. I was in a hotel at a convention and Bill Bailey spoke and he was selling this dream. I didn't even know the products, but I wanted to be a part of it. And what I found, and one of the great things about multi-level marketing, is that it puts you in a community of other like-minded people. I think that's the value and the power of associations of different kinds. Associating with people who share your values, associating with people, like-minded people who have dreams, who have goals that they're working on, and being in that community. Studies indicate that one goose can fly 40% further in formation with other geese than can ever fly by itself. In fact, I'm thinking about a scientific study where they exposed some rats to electronic shock, and after they increased it, it killed them instantly. But then they put these rats in groupings with other sharks, with other rats, and then what happened was that they continued to increase shocks of these rats, and they increased it over 10 times more, and it took far more to kill them than what it took with just one. And so there's something about being in a community of people who share your dream, who hold you accountable, who challenge you, who call you out, who can see what you can't see that you have within you, and inspire you to step up. Of Ebony magazine, the late John H. Johnson, who started that with a $500 loan from his mother. And he said something in his book called Making It Against All Odds. There's no defense against an excellence that meets a pressing public need. And I suggest to you, one, work on yourself. To me, I think there are 3 pillars of what's required in order to carve out your place in this global economy. There are many steps, but there are 3 that I think it's indispensable. One is working on your mind. Be ye not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The second is of having a mindset and willing to discipline yourself, to make the sacrifice, to engage in ongoing self-study for self-growth and development, developing your communication skills. I can hear Mr. Washington now say, Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Nelson Mandela said, if you speak from your mind, you speak in a language that a man can understand. But when you speak from your heart, you speak in his language. And so my goal in teaching people how to create mass appeal, how to change lives, that you have to change yourself. It starts with you. And then you begin to see from your experience how you can begin to impact and influence others and be a voice of change. And that ability really will allow you to carve out a place for yourself in the marketplace. And the methods and the techniques, the simplicity of how you language what you say. Einstein said that genius is the capacity to take the complicated and make it simple. And so when you are creating change and mass appeal, keeping it simple, but being the message that you bring, and loving it, and standing in your power, and realize that you're here for a reason. I believe to make a difference. I believe to do a great work. I believe to live a life, as Jim Rohn said, when you live your life, he said, your life can be either an example or it's a warning of what not to do, or an example of what to do and what's possible. 85% of them reach their goals because of their attitude, 15% because of their aptitude. Now, to me, that was big, because I was in special education. I was labeled educable mentally retarded. So I said, whoa, that means I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. That if I have a winner's attitude, that I've got a shot, that I could make it, that I don't have to live a life of being average. I wanted to live a life of meaning, of purpose. Being adopted, I wanted to do something for my mother. And so by listening to motivational messages and reading on a regular basis, it really taught me the value of using your time to work on yourself, to develop yourself, to really restructure your belief system for what was possible for you. It really expanded my vision of myself. And so to me, that's what it means about mass appeal, because I was working on myself. Then I started sharing it with others, and I noticed a difference in them when I shared with them the things that I was doing, because they saw the difference in me. And it's been said that a career is something you love so much you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. So as I talked with and shared with my friends what I was doing and what was possible for them, I eventually evolved into this life of where I am. And as a result, I carved out a market for myself. And because this is my passion, this is what I've spent the majority of my life doing, I've developed a level of expertise, a level of strength and power and reputation in this area that created a demand for myself. To me, one of the most important things and the first step in changing lives is to have a program for yourself. When I started on this path, that was what my goal was to change me, given my circumstances. I think that, psychologists say that we create a mental blueprint between the ages of 1 and 5, that between that time, we determine what's available for us and what's not available for us. And so, given my circumstances, being born in an abandoned building on a floor in a poor section of Miami, Florida, I became interested in a path of developing myself. I remember shining the shoes of Mr. Sidursky, this man that my mother worked for, very wealthy on Miami Beach. She cleaned his home and she cooked for the family and kept the children. And he listened to motivational messages unbeknownst to me. That was programming my mind, and it created a thirst within me to get on this path. I remember listening to Earl Nightingale, who said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And so to me, reading became an out. It became a tool that I used to develop myself. And not just reading for enjoyment, but reading for personal growth, reading to look at those things that I read and to apply them in my lives. And I would read sometimes at night from 60, 100 pages a night, sometimes a whole book. And then I would underline the book and I would think about them, I would memorize them, and then I would apply them. I would try them out. Because one of the things he said, they did a study of some top achievers and leaders around the world, over 3,000, to find out what was the common denominator among them that enabled them to reach their goals.
Listen, it's your time. And I want you to go within, and I want you to take some notes on some things that I want to share with you. And here's one of the things I want you to realize and to come to grips with. I didn't do what I'm doing now for 14 years because I didn't realize that it was my time. Now you might be saying, well, how do you determine that? The fact that you're here to do the greater work. And what I did was I disqualified myself. I kept myself on the sideline. I was an onlooker as opposed to becoming actively engaged in this thing called life. This is your time. I want you to write this down. Seize the moment. Seize the moment. Remember when Michael Jackson put off years from doing a national and international tour? And then he said he's going to put on this last concert, and he said, this is it. Don't forget that. He said, this one that I'm going to do, this is it. I'm going to put all my stuff in it. Some of y'all remember this. He said, this is it. He didn't realize that life is so uncertain. He didn't realize it's so unpredictable. He did not realize that there are no guarantees. Here's a quote I want you to think about. If you put everything off until you're sure of it, you'll never get anything done. If you put everything off until you're sure of it, you'll never get anything done. And so I remember thinking about, well, I don't have a college education. Well, I can't compete with people with PhDs and MBAs. I don't have any paper behind my name. Listen, what you have and who you are is enough. Become actively engaged in this thing called life. Seize the moment. I constantly say, live like a warrior. And warriors are always in fight mode. And this is what you have to do, because this thing called life, it's challenging. You got to fight for peace of mind. You got to fight to stay away from the refrigerator. You got to fight to stay away from toxic, negative, energy draining people. You've got to fight to stay focused. You've got to fight to put all your efforts and energy into things that's productive, that's positive, and purposeful. See, it doesn't take any motivation to procrastinate. It doesn't take any motivation to put things off or to think negatively, but it takes motivation to be optimistic in spite of, to have a perpetual vision of yourself and your life in a spirit of optimism, in spite of the circumstances and the adversities that's always knocking at the door or peeping through the window. If you put everything off till everything get right, oh, when I get all my ducks lined up, is that right? What if it's not duck season? When I get all my ducks lined up, when Peter stopped robbing, one of those things my mother used to say, robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what Mama used to say. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. How did she come up with that one? Listen, if there's anything that we know now, just with the coronavirus alone, do what you're going to do and do it now with a sense of urgency. And here's something else that I want you to look at, and that things that I know. I'm 75, and so I know a thing or two. And I remind you of that because I'm finding so many of my classmates, the only time that I get calls from them is when someone dies. Now, guess what happens when somebody who's handling the roster for class reunions and activities of people that we graduated with? You know what happens when you get calls to that effect or get a text? You're thinking, am I next? Send me some information about the ones that are living. Send me some information about my classmates that are making a difference. Send me something about my classmates who graduated with me in 1963 from Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, Florida, that's living their dream and taking their lives to the next level, that's creating generational wealth, that's happy and successful, and what good things they're doing in the world, the greater work, so I can emulate that, so I can be encouraged by that. Don't tell me about people that's dying. I find out sooner or later. I'm not being insistent. I really don't mind that. But I'm saying let's balance it out. Balance it out, because all of us going to go. Nobody's figured out how to get out of life alive. Nobody. All of us going to check out of here. People dying today who never died before. You know what?
Oh, behave, Tyrone. You know what? So here's something that Shakespeare said: defer no time. Delays have dangerous ends. Defer no time. Delays have dangerous ends. You think about that, because I didn't think I can be who I'm now being. I didn't think the life that I've been living, that it was available to me. Here's what I know. If you focus on living, if you focus on being actively engaged in life, every day finding some way in which you can make a greater impact, where you can do more, that you can achieve more, the possibilities are unlimited as to what can open up for you. And so I was hungry. How did you get started? I was hungry. I was hungry to buy a home for my mother. I was hungry to do something that would give my life a sense of value. I was hungry to be my own boss. I realized that the reason at first I used to get angry when they used to fire me, saying I had too much mouth, and that I was just too upbeat. And so they want to check me. They want to put me in my place. Well, I'm not that kind of guy that you can just disrespect me. No. This is your place, not a problem. I was looking for a job when I found this one. No problem. And so, but I noticed that the things that happen, what appears to be happening to you, they're really things that's happening for you. Because had I not been made uncomfortable working for someone, you would not know this Les Brown that you now see. See, sometimes life has to step in and say, you know what? He's a slow learner. Let's step in here. When you don't have enough courage to do what it is that you've been sent here to do, to live the life that you've been chosen out of 400 million sperm to live, when you don't have enough courage to do that, life moves on you. You were chosen to do the greater work. That's why you're still breathing. That's why you're not taking a dirt nap. That's why you are here, to be a blessing. We were created by the Creator to create. What do you mean by hungry? People that are hungry, they're positive about what they want. People that are hungry, they're persistent. They keep coming back again and again and again. They know that you will fail your way to success. People that are hungry are willing to persevere when it appears that all the odds are stacked against them. They keep coming on. When everybody has counted them out, they as long as they got a pulse, they keep coming back. They keep holding on. They don't give up. They might bend, but they won't break. Are you hungry? Is there something in your life, as you think about your life right now? And I did this self-explanatory style of saying to me, Les Brown, come on, you can do this. You can do this. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself. But the other thing is, I asked myself, if I died now, what would I be upset about? Some dream that I had that I put off that I didn't get done. And at that point, I thought about I love to travel. There are places I wanted to go, things I wanted to see, experiences I wanted to have. And I saw a guy who was speaking, and I said, hey, I can do that. The room was as quiet as a graveyard between funerals. He didn't get any response from the audience at all. I feel so sorry for him. But I said, hey, man, this guy is boring. Fortunately, I was seated next to his brother-in-law. Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. I said, this guy is boring. And he said, the brother-in-law, you ought to be that boring and make the kind of money he made. I said, well, how much money he made? He said, $5,000 an hour. I said, I can do that. And I mind you, before then, I talked myself out of it.
Gary Cox said this. When there's an argument between your mind and your heart, follow your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Follow your heart. Most of us have a mind-driven life, you know, and what do you mean by there's eyesight and there's mind sight? See, the mind, that's where your imagination resides. See, when you have eyesight, you just judge according to appearances, but mind sight, you look beyond the appearances and you create a vision in your mind of things already accomplished, because all dreams happen twice. First in the mind and then in the without. Okay? So I want you to, especially now, with this coronavirus thing, especially now, with all the other stuff and drama that's going on every day in the world, nationally, globally, and locally, especially now, but you might be breathing the wrong air seated next to someone, or walking and somebody walked past you and you don't know what's going on with them. I got on an elevator at Emory University, and they only allow 4 people on the elevator. And this guy had his mask on, I had mine on, and nobody there but he and I, and then he took his mask off to sneeze. Let me tell you something up in here. I was about to lose my mind with him. I'm about to say, I was looking at him, you about to make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. I know if he could have jumped out of the elevator, he'd have left there soon. The look I gave him, if you don't put that mask back on, I gave him that Mamie Brown look. You know, my mama used to say, you know what? Y'all better not make me come back there. No, ma'am, mama, please don't come back. We would bring out the King Kong. One of the things I'm doing, this is the beginning of the year, and I want you to listen to me closely. You can't make it by yourself today. There's so many things that's happening, so many things that's changing. And as you look at where things are right now, let me say something that the news won't tell you. All right, listen to me. God's in, he's in all of this. God is in this mix up in here. Do you hear me? He's all over this stuff. They ain't talking about that. They should have breaking news. God has interrupted all this mess that's going on up in here. Breaking news, he's still on the throne. Breaking news, all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. That's the breaking news. There will be no commercial breaks, just this information. All things, did you say something? No. All things, come on, now, are you really all things? All things work together for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. That's some good news up in here. They don't know. If it leads, if it bleeds, it leads. See, if somebody's got to die, got to be an accident, something ugly got to happen to make the news. But the real good news is that all things work together for good for those who love God according to his purpose. Well, what about my adverse circumstances right now? Trust me, it's going to work out. Well, what about the fact that I'm about to be foreclosed? Trust me, it's going to work out. What about the fact I'm facing eviction? What about the fact that I've lost my job? Trust me, trust him. It's going to work out. This is not the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter in your life. It's a new chapter. And as you believe, as you keep the faith, baby. Adam Clayton Powell knew what he's talking about. Keep the faith. Oh, we've gone through some stuff before. Keep the faith, baby. Oh no, see, in this place where we are, it's easy to have faith when you got money, you got your health, and things are working out fine for you. Oh, it's so fine. You can easily say, oh, just think positive and be enthusiastic and everything will work out all right. No. You're going to get some whippings in this thing called life. You have to keep the faith because this stuff is cyclic. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't go so well. And no guts, no glory. It takes guts to continue to believe, to trust to stand strong, to stand up inside yourself. It takes guts to do that, to come back again and again and again. It takes guts to look at things that you put all your effort and all your money and all your energy into, and then you have life interrupt you and you lose everything except your life. People say, I lost everything. I want to just tap on the television and say, no, you didn't lose everything. No. You have life. You're still here. You're still breathing. You still got a pulse. And who you are behind your eyes is still here. And that force, that energy, that presence behind your eyes can produce what it is that you've lost. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been bankrupt. You're not a loser. Things just did not happen the way you wanted them to happen. You're a winner. You were born to win. You came here winning. So whatever you want to do it now. And if you're going through some stuff right now, keep it moving, baby. Keep it moving. No. I'm depressed right now. No, you don't have the luxury of being depressed. Keep it moving. Use your mind to be creative and look for a way to get out of the situation where you are. You will work your way back to where you were and beyond there. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor. Yes. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Those are not just words that were printed on a page. Those are words that to become actualized in your life. And I'm putting together groups, mastermind groups of greatness. People, see, in order to make it, the 3 things that's major right now. Number 1, working on your mind. So when you go to hungrytospeak.com, you're going to get some things that you listen to called Choosing Your Future, that as you listen to this message over and over and over again, it's going to change your life overnight. There are people listening to me right now. I want you to put on the screen what difference those messages have made in your life. Put them up there so people can see them. Put them up there right now. Do it right now. If you've heard Choosing Your Future, it's possible. It's necessary. It's you. It's hard. It's worth it. It's done. Stick a fork in it. It's done. Yes, stick a fork in it. There's some people can tell you, that will tell you. Do you see anything yet, John Leslie? Yeah. They're putting it up there? Yeah, let me tell you something. It will make you get your hustle on. Let me tell you something. Don't listen to it at night. You won't be able to go to sleep. You'll be so motivated to be talking in your sleep. Listen, and if, thank you. Who said that? Hey, Kent. Hey, brother Kent. How you? All right, Kent. Oh, man, listen to me. Because you survived. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? You made it out of 2020. Whoa! Don't miss that. Don't miss that. A lot of folk didn't make it. A lot of people didn't make it. Don't take it for granted that you're supposed to make it. To just have a spirit of humility and say, thank you, Lord. A lot of people are partying. I wasn't partying. I said, thank you, Lord, I'm still here. Cancer Centers of America amazed at me. He's dealing with 4-stage cancer, but he's still here. He's been here 29 years with this, and he hear about with some pain that's in his shoulders and his back, but he's still here. He's 75. Don't look at, but he's still here. He says he used mascara to cover his gray, but he's still here. In fact, I see some great kind of rebellion right now. I need to hook them up. What is this? I don't know what's happening up here. What y'all doing there? Homie, don't play that. What y'all doing? Did I tell y'all excuse me, about to make me lose my religion? If people don't leave home without the American Express, I don't leave home without my mascara. Oh, behave. Oh, whatever. You make me Randy, baby. Why are you so happy? Because I'm here. Are you crazy? The stuff I deal with, stuff I'm dealing with right now.
I'm still here when I get through. See, when I speak, I don't hurt. But when I get through speaking, like I'm talking to y'all, the pain is in my room. Said, are you through? Well, I don't know. I think I got a little bit more to say. You know, as long as you're speaking, you got a job. We ain't gonna mess with you, but well, when you get through, we're gonna light you up. Let me tell you what happened. This is a true story. I was the program director at WVKO radio station, right? So this news director I hired, I'm not gonna tell you his name. He went to sleep in the newsroom. So I'm sitting up there waiting for him to come in at 10 o'clock to do the news. This time you could rip and tear and read the news off the Associated Press. I'm sitting waiting, got an instrumental playing, and he was in the room sleep. So people came and said, he's in the room sleep, he's not coming now. I put on a long record, and I had everybody come watch, and I put a note in his hand while he was asleep, and the note read, as long as you sleep, you got a job. When you wake up, you are fired. So everybody was watching through the window to see what he's going to do when he woke up. He woke up. You know, he slept another hour and a half. We got tired of watching him. He slept another hour and a half. I guess he looked to see we were out there. You never heard that one, huh, John Leslie? That's a true story. That's a true story. As long as you sleep, you got a job. Don't wake up. Well, listen, what does it take to make it not less? Mental resolve, all right? Next thing is, you have to upgrade your skill set. And we teach you how to do that, how to make money in a variety of ways. The other thing is, and I cannot emphasize this enough, getting around the right people. That's why I'm putting this greatness mastermind together. Being around the right people. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know and what they know about you, and being able to have the ability to communicate with people behind doors that you want to get into, and have relationships with people that's on the path of where you are going. Being around the right people, that's major. Do you hear me? That's major. Don't downplay that. Don't try and do this stuff solo by yourself, because it's too many people that's working against you and don't want to see you make it. If there's nothing else we know, 1 out of every 2 people you know that you see every day, they got it out for you. And me too. It's just that way. That's what it is. But we will find a way to win together. All things work together for good, for those, not just one person, for those where 2 or 3 are gathered. Ooh, I will be among you. Whoa, we're not by ourselves? No, absolutely not. Oh no. That's some good news. As you look at yourself, look at your goals, and look at the things that you want to do, put yourself out there. When I decided that I wanted to speak, I didn't want to just be a speaker. My goal was to be a dominant speaker in my niche. You've decided you want to be a category king or queen. You didn't just want to be one of the players, you wanted to be a player, the player. And that's why you're here. Iron sharpening iron. That's why you're here, learning some stuff that you don't know right now that will allow you to provide a quality of service for your customers and an experience so that when they leave there, they feel better about themselves. You're getting them in alignment with their vision of themselves and their body. They leave there feeling better about themselves, but talking about you because of the experience and because of the relationship. That's very important during this time in the distraction economy. What do you mean by we're so distracted? So much stuff's happening right now. In many situations, you can't even hear yourself think. And here's something else. And I'm going to just, I've got something I'm going to send you. This is very important. The master key when I'm looking at my life and I'm asking myself, how did I get here? Look for ways in which you can upgrade your communication. Steve Jobs said, your ability to communicate, he said, the storyteller is the most powerful person in the world. I want you to send me, I'm gonna give you something, get the free, it's called 7 Principles of Storytelling. And it's very important because you have to tell the story about your business. You have to tell the story about yourself and your ability to tell your story. It's today, in order in this noisy world where we are, you have to be good at telling the story about yourself and about your practice and being in alignment where people are and finding out how you can communicate with them in a way that they can hear you. One of the things about your industry and most industries that a lot of people don't know, it's an ongoing process of educating people with a story that creates the thirst. People say, you could take a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. No, but if you know how to tell a good story, you can create a thirst where they want to drink. I remember when I ran for state representative and I had been fired from radio, and people who would ordinarily supported me when I was on the microphone, they said, Les, we love you, but man, you lost the microphone, editorializing about all these controversial things. We can't support you, man, and you don't have a chance of winning. You don't have no experience, and you don't have any money to fight the party, all the media supporting your opponent. But they miss one thing. I had a story. And when I was on air as a disc jockey, I used to talk about my mother. And when I went to the radio station, my opponent had over $40,000 because his brother was the head of the treasury for the AFL-CIO. And he had the money and the influence to get more contributors to his campaign than me. I'm a novice. This is my first time in the game. I remember a friend who was trying to talk me into running for office. I said, man, I can't do that. I don't know anything about politics. And Perkins said, neither do the people who run. So he went and got some petitions signed and said, man, you should run. People love you. And here I am on Friday before the election. It was a Tuesday. The election will be on Tuesday. And I came to the station, I had around $640. He said, what you gonna do with that? I said, I'm not sure. And then I got still and I thought, I said, can I go in the control room? And I used to do commercials. He said, yeah. I called my mother because I used to talk about my mama all the time when I was on radio. And I said, Mama, I need you to say something for me. I'm running for state representative. She said, Leslie, what kind of mess you in now? I heard because you're a big mouth, they fired you. I said, Mama, I just need you to say something for me. I ain't got time for this mess, boy. I said, Mama, I'll send you $500. I did Western Union. She said, okay, you better send me my damn money. I said, okay, Mama, I'm gonna record you, but you don't have to talk long. And I played a song by Aretha Franklin called Holy, 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 Come Together People. And then I had her say something. She said, hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my boys to be good boys. And when they got out of hand, I beat their behinds. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy.
John Glenn called me, Senator John Glenn. He said, man, you call your mama on this dude, you gonna win this. And I did. I got 26,000 votes to his 3,000 votes, because people said when they went into the vote, say, I'm voting for Les Brown because his mama said he's a good boy. So being able to tell your story now, to be so good at it that you can't be ignored, to attract more customers, to get referrals, to create the kind of experience that people trust you, that people believe in you, that people feel a connection with you. Because no matter what you're doing and who you're talking to, when you go out in your community and speak to people, they're asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And so when you know how to tell your story, oh, the possibilities of what you can do and the impact that you can make and the reputation that you develop where people will seek you out and the word goes out. It's major. It's major. So I'd like to leave this with you, and I'm open for questions. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gold, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it.